Hello Africa, this is the kid of Africa as a father of Africans. I'm very feel sad and not good when I'm hearing all story different praises over Africa's of these politicians what they are doing. African leaders that are trying to do the corruptions and hanging themselves into that. It's like you are carrying a gun in front of it and you don't know if that gun has a bullet to shoot you. It's the same way those politicians are doing, and we're not happy with that as young Africans. When are we going to change these situations? Since all those years we heard about the historical books that are written, Africans were being enslaved by all those people outside of the continent of the motherland. Why do we have to do this? Until now, why do we have to ignore this? Why do we have to bright ourselves into darkness like this? We have a light, but we don't know how to switch them on. My people and my African, this is the time to wake up. This is the time to change. This is the time to go ahead with our development. We got resources and many things that are living in Africa. But one thing I don't understand, those leaders, politicians in Africa, they don't know how to use them. Why are they not allowing the young people to go ahead through with, and then they can see what is going on so they can change that situations? Why the laws of African presidency and countries are they not changing into a new act? Why? English is not my language, but I can speak it. I didn't mean like I cannot do that. I cannot speak other people's languages, but I can do that. Criticism, which is all over here in Africa and all over the world, I don't know when it's going to end up. Apathetic. I don't know when it's going to end. But we want to live as one blood. That God created us. And we have to unite in the same way, in the respect. We lost the motivations. When it comes to thieves all over the world, some people, they think they are more polite and they are more peaceful, but they are the one that we can show as the snakes. Why should we have to do that? I'm basically appointing African leaders that are the massive stranger and problem that causing all the death, penalties, poverty, no improvement in Africa. But we're still struggling. Generation to generations are still growing up, but they are still growing up in the eyes of all those issues. Why do we have to ignore this? Politicians, leaders of Africa, I respect you as one blood, as African mothers. But we still ignore that. When are we going to do that? I respect the Julius Marema and Magufuli. They are the most people that are acting. And they want to open this world eyes and Africa eyes. As young people in Africa, let's not ignore this. Let's follow these people, these two people. Julius Marema from South Africa and Magufuli from Kenya. Can we not follow them? And we can have situations where all these things are going. Still happening, all these things are happening here. The world is selling, is buying, is selling and buy. Africa. Why do we have to do this? Leaders of Africa, it's a shame. Selling Africa? Do you know that you have your kids and your future generations and evolutions is changing? Where are they going to fit if you are selling all these things out of Africa to the other peoples who have responsible with their nations outside of the world? Why Africa is doing this? Selling your kids, selling your continent, and feed other people outside of the country while your kids and your nation is suffering here, doesn't have food, doesn't have sleep, doesn't have entertainment? Why our leader in Africa doing this? Julius Malema, I respect you, and Magufuli, and I want you to take action to tell all this presidency all over Africa, and we can come up with the same minority to bring Africa together as one unit. And one thing is that why borders of African countries is still very restricted. As we black people, we're still arguing each other, having fights, having racism, discriminations between countries and tribes. Why are we not coming together? And we have one border, which is the border of the continent, to be as Africa, one country, and one currency, and one development. When are you going to change? If Namibia has a development when it comes to new inventions, why South Africa in economy, business activities, bank activities is more experienced? Ghana is more in some marine resources, oil and fuel. Congo, diamond and coppers, while others also. Why are we not coming together? We have all those resources, but we cannot work together as one, and we have the same trade, to trade all over the world, so we can have our benefit. We still don't have a benefit when it comes to this nowadays world, because the world is looking in Africa, and they know Africa is cheap, although it's rich. But Africa is more expensive than others. They can have a good trade. Since those years we had and we read in the history books, Africa was a good trader when it comes to countries in Africa. But I don't know now if it's still happening the same as it was. Because now people, they are shipping out our things all over the world, but not in around Africa to recycle our product in Africa. Why do we have to do that? We sacrifice ourselves, and all our forefathers sacrificed themselves to do the same thing. But now, when it comes to money and wealthy, these politicians, they are grabbing monies just for their individual aspect. But they forget about poor people suffering diseases all over here, Africa. We're trying to attack because there's no something which is keeping the things together. Why? I'm very sad for this. But God will come soon, and He will control all things that are going to be in evil styles. We don't want those styles. We want the truth, harmony, and justice, and prosperity. We want the reality of how people, they can walk all over the world. This earth is not for one person. It's not for individual. It's for everyone. But after death, I don't know who is who. This is all. We don't want to fight, but we want peace and working together as people all over the world. Feed our people, but not to suffocate them. This is the truth I'm talking. Whenever I'm speaking the language that you don't understand me, you don't hear me, anyway, what you get, it must be reserved. People, Africa, wake up.